Welcome to this week's episode of Humans in 5.
There's one big factor that keeps the world of academic research going round: funding. It takes a lot of money to conduct even the smallest project, and the salaries researchers make comes nowhere near close to covering the costs of their equipment, travel, and other expenses.
To meet these costs, researchers are constantly applying for funding. There are both government and private funding agencies that give money to all kinds of research projects. Many researchers, from students to senior professors, spend a good chunk of each year preparing proposals to get the money they need to do their work.
Getting funding isn't just necessary to do your job as a researcher. It's an important step in your career. People who receive funding tend to get more and more money in the future. The organizations giving away money tend to see people who've gotten money before as a safe option.
However, funding has become more and more competitive as financial sources dwindle. The amount of money available has been steadily shrinking, and the number of applicants has been growing, so competition has become fierce. Major institutions in North America fund about 10 to 20% of all projects, even though many rejected applications are very strong.
A lot of young researchers early in their careers find it hard to get their foot in the funding door. And as the competition tightens, people are starting to get more creative with how they seek and obtain money for their projects.
With less and less money available from traditional sources, researchers have started turning to crowdfunding. People have started sharing their proposals through platforms like Indiegogo, as well as science-specific sites like I Am Scientist and CrowdScience.
With this new way of attracting funding, people prepare fun, accessible summaries of their work. You can even find how-to guides that are made by major publishers. Then, they have a financial goal and a time window where funders can donate to their project. Now, people tend to not just ask for money to do their research. They often make sure that the funders get something back, and that can range from copies of final reports to a dinner with the project team.
Now, there are some obvious drawbacks to this new form of gathering funding. Some organizations may not consider the process valid and take issue with researchers using any of the funds raised. Funding always looks great on a CV, but some major agencies or institutions may be reluctant to trust and support someone working outside of the lines of the old ivory tower establishment.
However, on the plus side, research crowdfunding can get that money made and make sure that smaller research projects and people earlier on in their careers can get their work done, and that the final products of all of their labor could help them get bigger grants and more funding down the line.
Ultimately, crowdfunding indicates a bigger change in the marketplace today. As funding applications become more competitive and those giving out the money are more hesitant to fund projects, individuals are taking on more responsibility for making sure their work gets done.
This may help a researcher, but it could feed a cycle where institutions realize that they don't need to support their staff through funds or training that might help them attract bigger grants. Institutions can save a penny as their workers hustle to keep themselves afloat in this age of low research budgets and growing pools of talent.
So for all our research colleagues out there doing the hustle, the biggest takeaway is to remember that we're not alone in our frantic pursuit of funds, and that as technology, social media, and institutions evolve, the path to getting that money, honey, may continue to change.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Humans in 5.
Don't forget to subscribe.